Marshall skips away. Marshall skips away. Marshall's still going. Marshall's got Richards coming up outside. Now inside.
Arsenal have gone through an entire league campaign without losing.
Bennett and the Dragons win the grand final.
Whips that one away, and Kane Williamson and his team now World Test champions.
Welcome back to another episode of the TGIF podcast. Thank God it's footy. How's the week treated you, my bro? Those reps getting better?
We're
getting ready to come out and play.
We're healing on up. We'll be
a couple of trial holes, but
nice little barefoot
this week.
Nice little barefoot 7-iron bogey, I have to say, which was quite nice. Probably like an 80% swing, par 5 as well at that. You know, top my tee shot. So really, it's like
outscored all three of us.
Yep. I'm looking at it like, and kind of just also was it you and Osh were both playing quite alright, and then, you know, I think Osh had an 8 and you had a 7, and I think Osh
both had 8s.
Both had 8s. I think you both ended up falling apart after that. To be fair, Osh went out of bounds on 18. I think I just I also went out of bounds. Doesn't say I might have struck one down the middle, but I think I also lost one. But yeah, barefoot golf I think was probably the winner of the day. That was my favourite part about it, being on a green, putting. With a putter would have been nicer. It would have felt a little bit better than a 7-iron. But yeah, I'm thinking maybe not this week, maybe next week. It's the last thing we want to be doing is being out. You know, I'm going to say out and about. We want to be out and about come school holiday time. You know what I mean? I want to be taking advantage. I want to be getting as much golf as I can. I've set myself a goal of next year doing something golf related every day of the year, sort of like the swimming this year, and getting down to, I want to say maybe like an 8, which at the moment is 5 shots, which I think is definitely doable in a year. But I've got to start off. I was telling you before, I've got to get that hat trick of 80s on New Year's Day. We're after the 3rd in a row of that, and what we think still. Although I was also thinking, you've got those night golf places in certain countries, and like I'm sure in somewhere like Korea where they, you know, golf is that big, they're open on New Year's Eve, and you know, you can be out there and, like, you know, trying to hit a hole in one on, you know, there'll be some event or something of the sort, you know. So at least first birdie of New Zealand. I'd like to think I've claimed that title for 2024, and I want to get that again this year. So
let's be honest, you've probably got to be playing in the light of the sun, the natural daylight.
Yeah, I think it is
on a proper, you know, non-artificially lit up course to be going.
I mean, some of these courses are bloody flash. I gotta say,
you know,
I mean, if it's not
golf.
some New Year's event, then I'm giving it to you. But if it's like, hey, 2023 New Year's Eve Seoul Golf Club, I don't know if that's the golf club, but they're having a party and it's a big event, and it's like, come along and set yourself up on the 4th and try to hit a hole in one, you know what I mean? Like something like that. See, Ace is keen on that by the sounds of it. You know, something like that. I'm not giving you your birdie.
Yeah, nah, definitely not. I'm going natural golf all the way. Probably giving it to you for this year.
I'm gonna claim it for 2024. And so that's what I want to.
Was it 2?
The 3rd. Hole number 3.
10 off 7 o'clock. No other country yet.
Out in a car,
really
probably on the 3rd green by 7:10, maybe, like something like that. Like pretty.
There's no way any other country seeing the natural light of day.
Yeah, zooming.
First of the year.
I mean,
apart from potentially some other Pacific islands.
Well, if you're playing golf, do the Chatham Islands have a golf club, a golf course, because they are technically 45 minutes ahead, I believe.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, there's a high chance if you're playing golf in the Chathams.
You'd probably have to do a little bit of research somehow. I don't know if my golf has like a by time.
I'm sure they'd have a
you might need contacts to figure it out.
Down in the Chathams, I'm sure we can have a quick little Google it. But I know what you mean, like a time thing to sort of, you know, show when
people were sort of out and about on New Year's Day, getting amongst.
But then, because I don't, I don't actually get. I don't know if I get an official booking.
Yeah.
So people might be like,
It's a little bit under the radar. Yeah, you know, I'm going around talking about natural light. People might be going.
I'm out there going. I'm
where's
jumping.
your scorecard,
Yeah.
mate?
Well, I've got a scorecard, and I get a
official-
scorecard printed and obviously chucked on in there.
Where's your official tee time?
But you know, yeah, you're out there before the first tee. But there you go, nine-hole golf course. So you know, I believe 45 minutes ahead. So there's a high chance someone's got out there. I don't know what the percentage of golfers is on the Chatham Islands. I don't know what the, you know, average sort of New Year's Eve party is like on the Chatham Islands. They might be pretty rowdy. They might be closed. What did it say there? Actually, I've just realised. Permanently closed. They don't have a golf club, so not anymore. So I don't know. I don't really know how you're going to get around that. We're gonna claim it. I guess we've gone on a huge tangent there. Really, what my answer to the question is: are the ribs ready yet to come back? No, not yet. And we want to be able to do all of that. Basically, what's needed is to take another week. I think another week, another two. No need to rush back. I'm thinking no need to rush back. Plenty of golf to be played clearly in the future. So
you don't want
to
you don't want to be trading off a few December, January rounds for the likes of a late November round.
Yeah, exactly. And
tossing things up.
Going out there and doing yourself more damage that can maybe pull yourself out of one of those June rounds later on in the year, or maybe a September where you hurt yourself again, because you've got that sort of
you've got the long rip.
You've taken on that injury prone trait or something like that, those ribs are they've become a little bit weaker or something like that. So we're going to wait it out a little bit longer. Where we'll be out there in no time, and we'll zoom by. This time of the year always seems to sort of creep up on you, and then all of a sudden it's gone. You get maybe January, February. You're kind of like, I'm looking forward to getting back into December, January again. You can be still in January and going like, mate, I can't wait for next January. I think that's a plausible thing, but come March, all of a sudden it's May, and then you're in October, and you're kind of like, shit, where's this year gone?
Yeah, exactly.
And then you get to about now, and all of a sudden it's Christmas next week. Tomorrow, you've got your 1st of December. The day after, you're kind of finishing up at work. Then you're packing up a Christmas tree. The next day, you're doing your Christmas shopping late, and then before you know it, you're back at work.
Yeah,
so it zooms on by.
Yeah.
So we'll be back out in no time, I'd say, and kind of also, I guess, shitty timing as well in terms of just the sporting world. We've as we said last week, we've lost league for the rest of the year until February.
You probably see those trials around February there.
Second week of February, I think it is.
You might sneak yourself in a game earlier than that if there's something going on, but I don't suspect we'll be seeing anything much. But sort of transfer rumours, pre-season injuries, that sort of thing, going around the footy world. Couple of big signings this week though. The first one you'll be pretty excited about there, Terrell May.
Very
released from the Roosters.
It was a little bit of a weird one for me. I wasn't really expecting after he had a hell of a season.
Yeah, had no outrageous season. He was
losing Jared. You thought
he was a West junior.
Was a logical step up.
Yeah, you did, but sort of he had that real good. Well, I think we spoke about it last week when we were looking at the team of the season. He had that real good batch. Sort of up until about I want to say maybe round 9, round 10 or something like that, and then kind of just fell off a little bit. Like not get into it. Seems the May brothers seem to get themselves into a wee bit of trouble.
He said some interesting things about the fact that he doesn't really rate footy all that much. Like he goes through periods where he doesn't really want to play.
You see, I don't know if that's the type of player I really want at my team, but when you see him going out there and picking up 200 metres plus and scoring a double, I like the look of that. So Definitely a signing I'm looking forward to having join us there next year.
Yeah, and to be fair, he's joining a lot of his mates from Penrith there back in the day. As you said, he was a West junior for a while, but also came through the grade with Jerome Luai and
All of those fellas over there.
Taruva and those boys that
it's a big help.
making their way over to Wesh slowly to turn themselves into Penrith 2.0 there. But yeah, huge signing for the Tigers, I think, especially with Steph leaving. Definitely left a bit of a hole in the forward pack there, and
I think that's
sort of plugged that up nicely.
Yeah, I think lots of people were probably looking at that Royce Hunt option, I think, as the replacement. But I think this is a signing a lot more Tigers fans will be happy with. Someone who's
Royce
going to
Hunt,
come in.
good player.
Yeah, but not definitely I don't think a replacement. This is a
Happy to have both of them there, I reckon.
100%. Obviously, yeah, not taking anything away from Hunt there at all, but just a very different kettle of fish. I think Terrell May. So yeah, really happy with
Handy
that
signing.
And yeah, just like it just adds to that sort of new look team there for next year. I said it a couple of times. It's all about that first 4 games, first month.
Yeah, Gus has come out and put some pressure on you, claiming you have to make the 8 there. I don't know about.
I don't know. I have to. I mean,
I think your squad's good enough.
we have to come better than 17th. There's no doubt about that. Like if we go out there and
got
get
to
the spoon
avoid the
again, then
spoon. You're probably going to be looking
That's
to
when
avoid
we-
that bottom.
that's
4.
when like people go, disband the Tigers, and we get a 4th spoon in a row with that team. Then disband the Tigers. Like fuck. Like if you're gonna do it, you gotta do it.
It's
like,
pretty big. Comes from a
just-
Tigers fan as well.
Like if we were to go out there and get the spoon with that team next year, like there ain't no way there's not one team out of 16 worse than us with that team there. Like if we can't, there's not like a curse on the shirt, like there can't be. But fuck, if it happens, it may have to be done, and I'll just have to go and support the Magpies, I guess.
Support the Magpies, support the Dolphins, support the new 17th.
I don't know. I've always kind of been pretty, I don't think.
Anti everyone else.
Yeah, anti.
That's the way to do it.
That's not the route I was going.
You pick a
Anti
team
everyone
and
else.
then
You can't-
fuck everyone else off. Really.
Sorry, Roman, brother, but you can't be going out there and having 8 NBA teams or something like that, dude. A team for each day of the week, But I probably am anti everyone else. Like I'd say that's a very good way to describe it.
You pick a sports team, and whether it's tribal or not, you got to adopt that tribalism.
We like to pick a team or the team picks you, and I think that's like the way it was, especially with I'd give myself more slack of supporting another Premier League team if for some reason Arsenal were to get disbanded, because I picked that myself. Like it just so happened that that's the way it worked out for me at the time. But very could have easily been Blackburn. Blackburn win that game. Probably would have been a Blackburn fan. It also had a
You're
Kiwi,
a big
so
Ryan
it would have worked
Nelson
out.
dude. Yeah.
Well, it would have worked out. So might not have been too stoked now, but I think someone like me, I probably would have still just been a Blackburn fan. When I got to high school, would have met Seth and been like, yo, Blackburn,
Would have
Birmingham.
got
That big
anti everyone else sort of mentality.
Yeah, and then it's like Lanky comes around, and then it's like you've got 3 dudes who support a team that starts with B, who are all kind of in like the championship there or thereabouts. Kind of
You
used
would
to
have
be,
been the 3 nut jobs.
and it would have been perfect.
People
So,
would have thought you were English, probably.
I could have, if that's the case, maybe if Arsenal ever get disbanded, maybe I've got to be a Blackburn fan. But yeah, I think if the Tigers, that's a picked team. I don't think there's ever any way I could, I could go another route there.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I'd probably still just go to games at Mount Smart and support whatever team's playing the Warriors.
Whoever.
That'd be my new team that I support, and it'd just be the way it goes. I'd be going and cheering on whoever's scoring tries for the away team, and that'd be the way I'd go, I think.
It's a good way to go if your team does get disbanded. Pick a team you hate most and support everyone else that plays them, and it helps when they're in your backyard. So yeah, look, definitely hoping that it doesn't happen, but should it happen?
Really don't want to see another spoon.
Be interesting to see. Yeah, don't think it's going to happen somehow. But the other big signing news that we've seen come across our feeds the last couple of days, Josh Adokar. He hasn't turned up in Estonia. Was it you were?
Nah, he's not in Estonia.
He's stuck in the big leagues.
He's in the blue and yellow.
He's stayed out west. Yeah, a little bit further out west now, but Parramatta. Boom goal for the Fox.
2 new winners for the Eels. They're lining up next year.
Lomax and Adokar. It's pretty stacked.
If they can get the best out of Adokar, I'd like to think the best out of Lomax should be quite an easy task. The way he's played
coming
this
off
year,
the back of his season.
Getting the best out of the Fox is a tricky ask. I think over the last.
Do they have any centres there at Parramatta? They've got Penasini. Who's their other centre this year? It was.
Surely you don't move Lomax back after the year he's had.
Yeah, he's probably not a centre now, to be fair, after the year he's had. Ripping it up for the likes of Dragons, the New South Wales Blues and the Kangaroos there. Pretty hard to take him off the wing now. And I think he's sort of come around and said, yeah, wing's my position now. So
yeah, without a doubt, the second best winger of the year. So there's no doubt about it. You can't move him back into the centres. So I think it looks like you probably see him and the Fox there on your 2 wings. I mean, talking to Imran at work today, I think she didn't lean on too much. She seems quietly excited, I think, for the 2 of them, obviously, their next season.
A couple of good wingers, a couple of good halves there. Obviously, we'll have to see how they all go under the new coach.
If they can stay fit, that's obviously been their issue this year for Parramatta. Lots of injuries.
Yeah, Moses and Brown did spend a lot of time on the sidelines.
Probably didn't play very much together, I would say, this year. Moses and Brown.
No, because Moses was injured at the end, and sort of Brown wasn't around at the beginning of the year, wasn't he? So
I would say they probably didn't have many games with the 2 of them together. So if they can get a good string together of those 2 playing some good footy, then that was definitely a shock this year. I think seeing Para where they were. But when you do think about the big missing players that they had throughout the year, you can see why. So I don't think either of those 2 teams in that battle this year. I don't think we see a Tigers Eels spoon bowl again somehow for 2025.
Nah, it's hard to see with those couple of signings. Obviously, Tigers have already pulled off another huge few before that. Obviously a while away, but plenty to get excited over for the fans of those 2.
Yep.
I reckon. Some big signings. We'll keep our eyes out for some more to bring to you. But apart from that, I haven't really seen too much on the old NRL front. Apart from a few pictures of the boys,
new players and then new gears, players back at pre-season training. So. They're getting back out. They're getting back into it. Especially those Tigers boys. They're back out there nice and early. Obviously, a lot of work to be done.
Yeah, a few of these teams have had a couple of months off now. Really.
Yeah, exactly. So it's been a good little break for them, and especially for those teams not involved in finals footy this year. They want to get back out and get ready for next year. So. We'll keep you updated with whatever we hear, whatever we see over the next wee while. There is still plenty of round ball. There's been obviously a big international break. What is usually some of the worst periods of football as a football fan, but now the way that the World Cup works, I believe, I think I like it that a little bit more, being able to watch 2 very good, I don't want to say very good, but 2 very dominant performances by the All Whites, which we don't often see. We've seen a good win there on the weekend, 8-1 up against Vanuatu. Kicked on very, very early doors. We're in there, we're pretty dominant, and they're sort of saying, this game up against Samoa could be a hell of a lot worse. And if not for their absolutely outrageous goalkeeper, who I think could be one of my favourite keepers now, I'd love to see him, get like a, Napier City Rovers or someone like that, pick him up. I definitely think, maybe he could be good enough to be playing like maybe men's Div 1 or, maybe maybe some Conference League footy or something like that. Maybe not Napier City Rovers, that's probably maybe a bit of a stretch, I think. But some of these saves that this bloke was making last night, obviously ended up conceding 8, but I want to say, 25, 30 minutes in, I think it was, he kept a clean sheet till, and it was just a barrage of New Zealand attack there.
Yeah, to be fair, that Samoan team was, no disrespect, but 11 sort of unknowns there going up and doing a hell of a job.
Doing a hell of a job, doing a very good defensive job.
Did you say Vanuatu the game before?
Yeah, Vanuatu.
Yeah, they've got an A-League player.
They do. They've got Brian Kaltak. They've got 3 of his cousins as well. They were all on the bench for Vanuatu. I also think Samoa beat Tonga in the qualifying to come into this at the start, and I think that might have even been an upset as well. So I think it was big for Samoa to make it into some group stage. Leaves us with a big break now until international footy, at least for the All Whites, up until March, which is quite nice. So we go up against Fiji, New Zealand, New Caledonia, play Tahiti. And then we play the winner of that for a space in that 2026 World Cup, and the other team gets a playoff berth. So I think it's slowly the combination of seeing 2 good All Whites wins and knowing that 3 or 4 of our players had decided not to go away on international break made it that little bit easier.
Yeah, it's always good when you see the likes of Saka, Rice putting their feet up, looking to focus on the upcoming game. It's due to be a big one actually. Fourth versus 5th it ends up being. Coming up against All White's captain, Chris Wood, Player of the Month for October there.
Player of the Month, 5 goals on the international break.
Nuno Manager of the Month as well.
Nuno Manager of the Month.
So currently in the form of their lives, these Forest boys, absolutely loving it.
I mean, they did obviously have a little slip up there against Newcastle in that last game.
Yeah.
But I mean, both of those fellas now having bagged those 2 awards, they've just had a nice break. They should come back pretty refreshed. Wood still scoring goals while he's been away, which is obviously very handy for them. So it's going to be a tough ask, I think.
Yeah, look, we've won three of the last 4 against them since they've been back up. It was a little bit of a shock win for them in their first season back up, but it's due to be the toughest one of, I guess, the 5 now that we have played against them in the last couple of years since they've been back up. They're really
well, they've had some Matt Sale's probably been one of the best goalkeepers, if not the best goalkeeper of the season so far. They've got that centre back as well. Name is on the tip of my tongue. I want to say it's a European name of some sort, like a Croatian name or someone like that. I can't remember. He's bald centre back for Nottingham Forest. Steppens. I can't remember what his name is. Nottingham Forest. I think he may have also possibly been up for player. Maybe not up for player of the month. Where is players? Not Murillo. Milinkovic, who's just been outrageous for Notts this season. Him and you just got it everywhere. Him and Sal's, Chris Wood, been on form. Langer's been playing well. Hudson Odoi. They've got a good looking team. Obviously Nuno coming in, changing up things big time for Notts Forest, and obviously what was it, 27 new players they signed last year, I think it was.
Yeah, it was something ridiculous.
And obviously going out there and making more signings for this season, but they seem to have a pretty settled looking starting 11, a good looking squad if they can stay injury free. There's no reason why they can't be pushing for a European place, I don't think.
Yeah, if they can continue anything like we've seen over the last couple of months, fingers crossed they won't be bringing their best to North London on
Have another rest this weekend, maybe.
Sunday morning.
Yeah, I believe it is Sunday morning. Have a rest this weekend.
Sunday morning, 4 a.m.
But then get back out there after that and go and take 5 wins on the trot.
Yeah, especially,
than,
well, I know they've already beaten Liverpool, but especially if they come across City. So.
Like, even if we came second and Nottingham Forest won the league like that year that Leicester won it, I'd be gutted, but I'd also be like,
yeah. See, I'm a little bit anti everyone else for that, but
fair.
Nottingham Forest probably would prefer to see it over another City one. You don't want to see 5 in a row for City.
City or Liverpool, to be fair.
Yeah.
I don't want to see either of them win it. So, I mean, even Chelsea, I wouldn't want to see them win, even though they've been out of the game for a wee while. So, I think it is probably a little bit of anti everyone else. But if we were to go out there and see Chris Wood,
Chris Wood scores
bag 33 goals, take Golden Boot, and win them the Premier League.
Yeah, what a story!
It would be outrageous.
It would be all time Kiwi GOAT sportsman.
No, I'd be happy if we won 3-2 on the weekend. Win 3-2, Chris Wood scores 2 goals.
Yeah, win 4-3, Chris Wood gets a hat trick.
Chris Wood gets a hat trick. You know what I mean? Like, and 3 good goals. You know what I mean? Maybe we'll give him a pen in there. We'll chuck him a pen to
dodgy pen.
Probably like I don't know.
Handball.
Yeah, maybe Zinchenko's maybe trip someone up in the box or something like that. It's a clear trip or it's a clear handball either way. I don't think it's going to be dodgy. It's going to be stupid. And then maybe gets the ball back to goal, turns them, turns and first time finesse sort of top corner.
Yeah, 30 yards.
Maybe
25.
Maybe 25, sort of into the box, outside the box sort of thing, and then the other one, a nice header.
A nice header. I was going to say a screamer of a volley.
Yeah, I definitely see him
into the box.
I can see it being definitely more the header. He's definitely that sort of target man there, but I know obviously the talk about how much we do with our set pieces, so I'm sure that'll be a bit of a topic of discussion there this week, how they can stop Chris Wood from any of these set pieces there on the weekend.
Yeah, look, don't mind if they don't stop him, just pick up the win. Although with Odegaard back, hopefully Saka's feeling nice and rested. We'll be able to get the most out of those two. I think Odegaard really, is the key for Arsenal to sort of rediscover some form. If the likes of Havertz and Martinelli can be fed a couple extra chances and end up scoring a goal or two, it might change their confidence. It's just obviously good to not see 3 defensive midfielders line up. Trossard, we've seen sort of experimented at CM and didn't really work the best this time around.
No, obviously good to have Big Martin back there in the middle there. You want your captain out there playing, you don't want your captain injured, so it does.
It's the curse of the armbands long gone, you'd like to hope.
Yeah, you'd like to think we're past those days of your Vermaelens, your Mertesackers, I like to think maybe
Koscielny all sitting on the sideline.
Exactly, so get that sort of stuff out of there. And hopefully we can come away with that 3 points there come Sunday.
Yeah, 100%. That'd be ideal. But you said there's a bit of darting.
We said last week it's a big week there of darts that we got to get involved with. We what's that? Now I don't want to make this mistake there. It was the Grand Prix or the Grand. It was the Grand Slam. I always get the two mixed up. The Grand Slam there on the weekend. Now that does it lasts about a week, 8 days possibly. It might have started on the Saturday and then in the following Sunday possibly. So 8 days, plenty of darts to get involved with. Lots of big names getting kicked out early. MVG out early, Humphreys out early. They're probably the two main ones there, not involved in a big long run. Luke Littler though had his big run. Some pretty solid performances, some pretty surefire wins. I think he had one game that finished in about 30 minutes. And it was pretty dominant performances. On the other side of the draw, we saw a couple of new faces. We saw Mickey Mansell in his first televised semi-final, and I also believe it might have been Martin Lukeman's first televised semi-final up against each other. Lukeman taking the win there in the end and having to come up against Littler in that final. Lukeman goes 2-0 up, and you're probably thinking, Jesus, he's gone. I've had a break. I've had a break of throw.
I'm on top here.
I'm on top. Let's get through to the first. Let's sit through the first session.
This kid's all hype, maybe. He's thinking.
You have your 5 legs for your first session, then you have a little break, and he's probably thinking, "God, if I can go into the first session 3-2 up, at least, happy days." And that's when Luke Littler goes on that run. 15 legs on the trot. He goes. It's a first to 16 final there. Gives poor Lukeman one leg there at the end, just make it look that little bit nicer, and then he takes it out 16-3. So his third major title that he's won this year. He's cracked 5th now, I believe, in the order of merit. So obviously he's defending a wee bit of money there. No, he won't be defending any money because it's only his first year on the tour, I believe. So I don't think he will be defending any money. So only going to keep getting bigger. I would highly back him to go out there and win the World Champs at the start of next year. So I think it won't be long until we see him top of that order of merit, top darts player in the world. I don't know where they are this weekend. I don't know if there's possibly a bit of a break. After an event that size, they might have a bit of a break. We might see maybe some smaller events. I know that there's been a few WDF events over here in New Zealand, so we might see a couple of smaller little events possibly popping up around the way. But I think it'll be a break up until the following week where we get a little bit more action, I believe. But it probably wraps us up for another shorter episode this week. As always, if you've made it this far, thank you for listening, thank you for tuning in. Remember to get involved on all your socials. Give us a like, give us a 5-star, give us a subscription. Enjoy the week ahead, enjoy whatever sport you're getting involved with, and if you're having a punt, do it responsibly, and hopefully we'll see you here next week.
Yeah, sounds good to me. We'll see you then.
Ciao.
Marshall skips away. Marshall's still going. Marshall's got Richards coming up outside. Now inside.
Arsenal have gone through an entire league campaign without losing.
Bennett and the Dragons win the grand final.
Whips that one away, and Kane Williamson and his team now World Test champions.